Good evening, sir. Sir, we will start at 7. So, good evening, everyone, and I welcome our guest speaker, Professor A.K. Singh, sir. Sir, we welcome you to this session. And sir has been actively involved with the innovation activities as far as making an ecosystem in higher education institution for innovation and for research and development. Sir has been actively involved. Sir is Professor HEG grade in Department of Electrical Engineering, Motilal Nehru, NIT Allahabad. And without wasting much time, I will welcome sir and I will request sir to start the session. Sir, please take on the session.
Thank you, Shashwatji. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay.
I'm stopping sharing the screen. You can share your screen now, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Your screen is visible, sir.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Just a minute.
Yes, sir.
So today I have given this responsibility to speak on this topic, how to nurture innovation. So I'm really thankful to the organization MIT Meerut Foundation for starting this series. Atal Communication Innovation Center, MIT Meerut Foundation is sponsored Impact Lecture Series on Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development. And today is as I have been told, that today is the second lecture of this series. And I really much appreciate the organizing team led by Dr. Shashwat for taking this initiative with the consent of our section chair, Dr. Satish Kumar Singh, who is always active for who always promotes such initiatives. And That is really a good initiative. I hope this lecture series is going to benefit our IEEE volunteers and others also who are interested in this domain. So I will just carry on with this content list of contents. That is, we will cover this innovation, what is the meaning or definition of it in very short, what is the importance of innovation management, what are the various types of innovation. Then we will try to cover this, how to nurture an innovation culture. Then definitely we will also talk about the skills to be nurtured in your innovation group to which you belong or you lead. And finally, we will discuss something about the benefits of the nurturing an innovative culture. And finally, at the end of this session, when I complete this, you can ask some questions related to it. And if you feel that you have some bigger question, you can also write it to me on my email ID given in this last page. This is ashish@mnnit.ac.in. So innovation basically is one of the most important topics concerning the long-term competitiveness of companies and organizations. But what is innovation exactly means, right? And why this innovation management is so important for organizations. So Ashwati, is the slide is visible or?
Yes, sir. It is well visible.
Okay, good, good. So we will talk about this basic term, ki what is innovation. This word innovation is derived from the Latin word innovare, right? And later this Latin word became innovatio, and that became the basis of this English word in late Middle English that became the innovate, right? And this innovate later forms the basis for this word innovation. और अगर हम इसको अपनी भाषा में बात करने का प्रयास करें तो we can say that first of all, for understanding what is the meaning of innovation, that is the action or process of innovating and a new method, idea, product, that is the meaning of that what we understand by this innovation. हिंदी में बात करें तो हिंदी में नवाचार, ये दो इनोवेशन का मतलब है. Oh, this is, I have raised hand, is it so?
I think someone has raised.
Yes,
we will,
Abhishek.
we will take questions at the last, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. So this is नया और आचार मीन्स आचरण या परिवर्तन. तो अगर हम इसको इस तरह से मिलाकर बात करें तो नवाचार वह परिवर्तन है जो पूर्व स्थित विधियों और पदार्थ आदि में नवीनता का संचार करता है. और नवीनता ही एक ऐसा स्थायी सब्जेक्ट है, विषय है, जो कि हमेशा हम लोग इसकी तलाश में रहते हैं, जिसको कि हम लोग ढूंढते रहते हैं रिसर्च के जरिए या और भी अन्य माध्यमों से अपने वर्किंग के दौरान, काम करने के दौरान. So innovation is crucial to the continuing success of any organization or any team or any company, you can say. So these are this all is about the word innovation. Innovation means to improve or to replace something. For example, you can take as a process or a product or a service. In the context of companies, however, the term needs a definition. In the complex context of business, a definition can be given as the innovation is a process by which a domain, a product, or a service is renewed and brought up to date by applying new processes, introducing new techniques, or establishing successful ideas to create new values which are more welcomed by the stakeholders or the end users. So this creation of value is a term which defines the characteristic of innovation. So with this, we will try to cover all these five different aspects of innovation. So we have already discussed what is innovation. Then we will try to cover why is innovation so important. So organizations have several options to increase their competitiveness. That is the most desirable thing for their success. So what they can do, either they can strive for price leadership, or they can develop a strategy of differentiation. In both cases, innovation is essential. If we talk about price leadership, the companies that choose price leadership, they must secure their long-term competitiveness by developing innovative and highly efficient processes. So this process optimization and continuous improvement in terms of cost, they are the important things. But the companies that strive for a differentiation strategy, they need innovation to develop unique and distinguishing features to their competitors. Many new startups, they launch their activities by developing an innovative product or service, which sometimes become a very successful thing. Similar in the present scenario, you can take the example of these e-services like Ola and Uber. They were the new startups, but right now they are a very successful model of the successful companies, and which have become a need for today's travel arrangements. So in this way, these activities, you can say they are really innovative in their service terms, in terms of their service which they are offering. Therefore, a continuous innovation is crucial for all companies, just to retain their customers, just to be relevant for the services they are offering. So the main difference is in the focus of the innovation strategy, which varies considerably from company to company, organization to organization, team to team. And this innovation, although it has always been one of the driving forces in competition, and has always been a primary competitive dimension, the numerous recent studies and publications, research publications, they show that the speed of change is increasing day by day for survival of the companies, right? And a similar thing, if you have heard about this Moore's law, that also says something like that. This number is increasing in the new area. So this makes innovation, that is what we are talking about, as one of the most important drivers for the long-term success of the companies. And accordingly, methods of collaboration and teamwork are all increasing. They are increasingly being used by the numerous companies, such as to promote digital innovations and overcome the challenges of new type of challenges of this digital change, which is covering the whole space with an increasing speed. So this innovation requires a very higher degree of creativity than this regular operative business, and definitely it needs a very clear innovation strategies that must be available with the companies. Concepts like lean innovation and the establishment of this community-based innovation networks, they have become increasingly relevant in the present scenario. And these companies are using modern idea management softwares. There are different consultancy companies and some innovation management softwares to manage these innovations efficiently, to establish these innovations, the efficacy of these innovations that is being continuously monitored using these tools. Then comes the next point, what is the right mindset for innovation? Yes, this innovation requires a different mindset, because innovation requires more creativity and more willingness to take risks than the implementation of typical projects and those very old established concepts. So to successfully realize innovation projects, this existence of a different mindset is very much important. So what is this different mindset which is right for innovation? We can classify it into 4 points. We can elaborate with 4 points. First of all is, with traditional approaches and conventional methods, you will often not get anywhere in the field of innovation, right? So the challenges, they are the status quo consistently. Whenever you will try to do something different, you are going to face a challenge. So just to avoid those challenges, we try to remain in those conventional methods. But if you want to innovate, you will have to try to break the established methods of approaching conclusions. You will have to explore new paths in place of those conventional methods, and definitely there is a lesser possibility, there is a lesser percentage of success, but yes, you are going to achieve it if you are trying to do with a mature mindset and with right set of tools. You are trying to do that. Number 2 is, always try to be alert and open for collecting ideas. You may get the idea from anywhere, anytime, at any place. So keep yourself alert, keep your eyes and mind both open, and keep on be in search of the new ideas. Yes, the application may be different. You may see something and it may definitely have some application for some different work that you may connect, and definitely that is going to improve that existing process of that application, which may come in the category of innovation. So to overcome obstacles, to change concepts, and to optimize strategies, they all are the part of this innovation. Number 3, imagine how your innovation will look like in reality. Whatever you are thinking, how that is going to be possible. And for that, you will have to believe that impossible things exist. And that is the mool mantra, that is the main driver and motivation for your innovation spirits. So you will have to believe that you will be able to overcome all obstacles on the way of realization, whatever you are thinking, and which seems to be impossible at this moment. But definitely, if you are going to put your efforts on that, it is going to be possible. And definitely then you will find that this is going to be an innovation, a new thing which is to be welcomed by the society or this world. And the 4th point is, innovation needs the diversity of various competencies, right? And diverse ways of thinking. So try to have a very good team of experts who can think in different ways, who can have a background of different dimensions, who have experience, proven experience in different areas of applications, right? And put together this innovation team of individuals with different perspectives and thinking styles to achieve something new, some innovative. So these are the four types of mindset required, for specialization of mindset required for the innovation. Then comes the next point, the different types of innovation. So definitely we will, if we consider this types of innovation, we will have to make a frame. And definitely the first frame which comes into the mind, that comes of the business, right? So if we take that construct of businesses, there are different types of innovation which we can discuss. So first of them is process improvement and organizational innovation, right? So this improvement of processes through continuous improvement and the development of new solutions, they qualify in this first type of innovation. Second type is product development. If you are going to develop some innovative product, or you are going to add a new feature in the existing product, that qualifies for this type of innovation. Third is service innovation. The creation and or introduction of new services. In the earlier type, you were adding new feature in the product. In this condition, in this particular type of third type of innovation, we are talking about the new services. Means that is creation or introduction of new service for stakeholders of the processes, that qualifies for this service innovation. Fourth type is business model innovation. We are going to have a comprehensive change in that. So this definitely, this overhauling of this business model, that is definitely going to add some new revenue streams. Means lesser input, more output. That is always the business strategy, said this advantages shall be more, profit shall be more, and net revenue outcome shall be more. So this is the business model innovation. So these are the four types which we generally talk about, different types of innovation regarding businesses. But right now, there are two different approaches which are also coming into discussion. They are the digitalization and digital transformation. Digitalization is the new aspect which we are trying to add in every domain of our engineering applications also, like our electricity grid, that is trying to be smart grid. Our industry, that has become industry version 4.0, means they are talking about smart manufacturing, smart industries, new generation of industries, etc., etc. There are discussions about the IoT, and there are discussions about the IIoT, means industrial IoT also, they are discussing about it. So these digitalization and digital transformation, they are also required by the companies for rethinking and developing new approaches. And in this way, many companies focus on incremental innovation. These are the different degrees of innovation. The mere improvement, you can talk about, for example, processes of products, that you can also call incremental innovation. But the major innovations that lead to substantial changes, they are called disruptive innovation or radical innovation. For example, we can take it as, for incremental innovation, that is optimization of existing processes. That is one example. Another example may be the procedures or a product line extension. Second category, that is the disruptive innovation. For that, the example may be the major innovations such as iTunes, Google Android, Siri in the iPhone, and this Alexa devices, etc., etc. So they are the assistants, they are the virtual assistants available, right? On every website, you will find that there are the chat bots are available, and these bots are immediately available as soon as you open that website, right? And they immediately offer you, what can I do for you? I am available for chat, right? So before going for manual connection or the manual discussion, sometimes these bots are also available and they are quietly successful in resolving your queries, initial queries, right? And then they will finally they will ask also, are you satisfied with my performance? If not, then they will take some other action or some other degree of decision making they may take. So these are often referred as digital disruptions also, because innovations that change the logic of existing markets, right? And not only the markets, if you open the website of AICTE, there you will also find the bot is immediately available to you, support you. What information you need, what type of information, they categorize immediately the information and they are ready to help you. So this all is available right now, and this is being a regular item for this new technology. And if we talk about the difference between incremental and disruptive innovation, we can say that for many companies, innovation means taking existing products and changing their details, the color, the form, the functionalities, the size, and so on. So this form of incremental innovation ensures the competitiveness of companies in existing markets. Usually what happens in the car market? They keep on changing the features available. They keep on changing the cosmetic look. They keep on changing the internal support changes, right? But basically, there is no change in the mechanical part which is required for driving the vehicle. That is the engine. Engine is same. Mechanical systems, they all are same. But add-on features, they are changed. And depending upon these add-on features, they classify the complete segment in 3, 4, or 7, 8, 9, 10 models, right? And for the similar vehicle, same vehicle, you get the different models. So in future markets, incremental innovation is definitely that is not going to be sufficient, because there will be a stage come where the buying capacity is going to increase like anything, and then this classification is not going to affect the buyer's capacity. And suppose there comes a stage when this range of total 10 models in that complete range, that is limited to upper 3 models only, and the company is not seeing any purchase trend in the remaining 7 models or the bottom models, right? So what will happen? It means this classification of innovation, this type of innovation which the company was doing in the models, that is no longer sufficient. So in that case, companies have to reinvent that product. That will be radical innovation, right? They will have to reinvent the product. They will have to invent the services also, which are additional comfort providing services for the engagement of the co-passengers of those services. That sort of services may introduce inside the vehicle. So this to ensure this long-term innovation capability, companies worldwide have established an idea management, or they also have introduced this innovation management system to provide a structured approach. So from the development of this innovation strategy to setting up an innovation roadmap and successfully implementing innovation, this is the final achievable target. Now, next point comes, that is managing incremental and disruptive innovation. This is the last point of this classification. That is for companies setting up innovation management. That is important to keep pace with the changing customer requirements or the customer's expectations, means that is the end user expectations, you can say, in case of team or some other organization. This incremental innovation provides competitive advantages, and definitely those are in terms of production cost, they are in terms of they may be in terms of functionalities or equipment within that prototype. This conventional innovation management often does not go beyond this incremental innovation, and products are improved continuously, like Creta 1.4 model Hyundai was producing last year. Again, they are going with some new lights, then new this thing. But all the base, complete box is not going to change. Engine capacity is not going to change. Braking system is not going to change. It means they are not reinvented, right? Only product they are improving with some cosmetic changes. However, with novel methodologies for the innovation of process and product developments, what companies do? They quickly reach their boundaries, right? And what happens in those markets which are already super saturated, like a vehicle segment, right? Sometimes it becomes very difficult for the user to identify or choose which vehicle he or she shall go for, because the feature wise they are equivalent. So then it becomes very difficult for which particular quality they shall decide, they shall make the decision. So in this times of digital change, in which new customer needs to be immersed, companies must be able to develop more far-reaching forms of innovation, right? They will have to cover the upper band of the customers also, but they will have to work to generate new users at the bottom band also. So this may be an innovation strategy which may make them successful in upcoming markets for their sustainability of the company, sustainability of their business model, right? So this disruptive innovation, they need different approaches, of course. So they want to drive this, just a minute. Yeah, so that is disruptive innovation that needs different approaches. Companies that want to drive disruptive innovation forward, they need to take different approach. They have to pursue a revolutionary path in addition to traditional methods. What they can do, more and more business realizations can be done, different approaches for long-term growth, which may be critical, they shall be adopted. Innovation has to be more radical in their strategy for a future strategy. This requires rethinking. New management techniques, they are to be sought. More courage and definitely the willingness to take risk. That is very important for these companies, right? For the survival of the fittest. The result of such management approaches are, it may be new products, again, it may be new services, which might be useful for tomorrow's market, right? So they may develop a new market as per their drive, right? And definitely they may become the leader of the future and that being the leader of the future, they may decide it today only. Yes, tomorrow they are going to be leader of the future. So what happens for such outcomes, for such targeted outcomes, what you shall do as a leader or as a stakeholder? We shall try to form small teams, right? Small teams always have some flexible approach. they have better flexibility to develop innovative concepts faster for achieving the new market shares. And this spirit shall be emphasized, and they shall be continuously monitored, and they shall be asked to develop their progresses, so that their continuous reviews at a regular intervals will keep on motivating them, will keep on emphasizing them for achieving new results. So, with this managing incremental and disruptive innovation, I think we have talked about this disruptive innovation. But here one more question comes, that is the management, right? So methods for this managing innovation, they may come as diverse as the types of innovation. They all depend upon the different types of innovation. So one may be the innovation processes, that may be one method with which these developments are steered by a clearly defined procedure through different stages and levels. Then second may be open innovation and customer co-creation, right? And with this method, you can integrate your customers directly into the development process, right? And third, you may develop this innovation labs, as you have developed one in your campus. And this innovation labs may work as a business units in which employees work on the development of innovative ideas, innovative products, or they work directly on the innovations which are other than their business daily business ideas, right? So definitely they are targeting the tomorrow's business ideas, right? They are not doing the regular works. So this way, these innovation challenges, they come as a competition in which they may create competitions in which employees are asked to contribute solutions to overcome the regular challenges. So these are the few things which are used as a method for managing innovations. So for a leader, it is essential to select the right tools for innovation projects, and to build up that innovative culture in the organization, as well as they shall also work for increasing the innovative capability of the company for a better tomorrow of leadership. I think, sorry, yeah. Is it visible? How to nurture and innovate innovation culture?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, good, good. I thought this strip is coming off Zoom in the top, so it was not visible here. So how to nurture an innovation culture? So what we can do by overcoming the barriers to creativity and innovation, we can overcome these barriers of creativity. They may be different barriers of the mindset, they may be different barriers of resources, they may be different barriers of peers, fear of the peer groups, etc., etc. And by this, we can establish a right culture of innovation in our organization. That may be our institutions, that may be our small team, by where these employees or stakeholders, they perceive innovation as positive change. They appreciate. They shall be well trained to identify those changes, right? And they shall have a tendency to appreciate those changes. Yes, this is positive. So a open mindedness is always required, where you shall welcome all the positive things. If something is happening in your surrounding, you must appreciate that, and you must support innovation, or that team who is involved in innovation, with motivation and enthusiasm, right? We shall not target them. क्या हो रहा है? कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. No, innovations are not the things which are happening on daily basis, right? They are similarly like new inventions. They are similarly like new birth of new technology or new theme, new idea, new model, right? So we shall support those persons, those peers who are trying to achieve something new, right? So these are the things by which we can nurture innovation in our companies. And the ways to nurture innovation, we can see that there are the businesses create values by moving faster and being more agile, and this unleashing innovation. So by this, the businesses can support it and create values for the innovation. And this innovative culture that challenges people to take risks. You will have to promote this spirit among your team. Innovation culture also promotes curiosity and learning among the members. And this innovative culture encourages independent thinking that cultivates engagement, that cultivates enthusiasm and meaningfulness towards your actions, which are targeted to get something new in ideas, in product, in services. That is innovation, which we are repeating again and again. So in this way, we can see that there are several ways to nurture an innovative culture. The very first is consistently communicate that innovation is essential. Right? You will have to keep on saying this mantra, yes, innovation is essential. And for what is it essential? It is essential for the success and sustainability of the organization or team. Right? Your team must understand that innovation is not optional. It is essential. So for which you will have to promote collaboration with users, end users, and other stakeholders to develop novel concepts which meet their needs while enabling them to achieve an aspiration. This provide time and space to brainstorm. There shall be sufficient thinking spaces where they can sit calmly and think quietly about these brainstorming sessions during regular meetings or independently with the associates, their team members, and their interaction shall not be limited to their teams only. Thus, interaction shall be cross-disciplinary in nature. One team shall interact with the members of the other teams, and then only you are going to get some new cross cultural ideas for developing new products. Establishing guidelines for ideas or suggestions to ensure that those submitted new ideas, they will be appreciated. They may get some advantages. They may cause some revenue generation for their group or for their team, and definitely they will be credited for the quality or the productivity improvement. Means the credit will be given to them for their ideas, right? Though they are doing it for the company, but definitely the company or the team, they are always going to give them the credit for the change which they will bring, right? And definitely this is going to be definitely a cost saving or time saving for the company or for the group, right? And as I told you that we shall always promote the interactions between the cross functional teams to evaluate the and this evaluate and prioritize proposed ideas and suggestions using above discussions, whatever we have discussed till now, different points, right? So you have to give your team a sufficient time for innovative ideas to develop. They do not come on every instant. They do not come on every day or monthly or weekly basis, right? They comes after a sufficient long gap and with a substantial amount of inputs from different stakeholders, or different cross-functional teams engagement, etc., etc. So you shall not expect them on daily basis, right? So and of course you shall encourage champions who are bringing something new for you, either individual or a team. You shall recognize them. You shall reward those whose innovations are validated, and they shall be treated as leaders who excel, uh, who may be a role model to excel their team or motivating the members of their team. So this all shall be done to nurture innovation within your organization, within your team or your institution. And what are the different skills which shall be nurtured in your innovation group? I think we have left this. There were three. Sorry, just a minute. Yeah, there were one more point there. That was, you shall try to drive out the fear of failure from your workplace. Right? Means your team members shall not have a fear of failure. If I will fail, I may be treated as dumb. I may be treated as unsuccessful, or I may be given a negative review at the time of this annual reviews, right? So please try to be mature and try to be more liberal with your team who is involved in trying some new implementations or who are trying to evolve something new. Because leaders who react negatively to a new idea or a failed attempt, they create a fear of failure that constrains innovation, right? And finally, what will happen? The innovation will not come. This will come as a predictable in-box thinking, and that will continue like a more of same rational, right? So you shall not react negatively as a leader. Leaders who encourage curiosity, creativity, and they appreciate this risk taking, right? Or who position failure as a learning opportunity. They enable their team members to feel safe while exploring, right? So this is possible for accepting a reasonable risk of failures among your team members, right? And people are more creative and innovative. Believe me, when they are free to share their ideas, they are going to more useful and more innovative for you, right? And the next point is measure and report about innovation. Make it popular. Make a recording of it, right? Because this innovation is a vital part of your business. It shall be easily accessible for everyone. Report how it creates value for your customer's business and definitely for yours. Put a particular system in place dedicated to innovation only to measure results regarding improved speed, improved process time, or increased productivity, faster time from raw material to reaching to the market, right? This all shall be monitored, and if it is obtained, that shall be appreciated. So please cite accelerated decision making, greater transparency, and higher efficiency throughout the organization that justifies your commitment for the innovation. So this is the point which the team leaders shall learn for nurturing the innovation in their organization, right? Yes, there are something for the team members also, right? There are skills to be nurtured in your innovation group, in your innovation team. Yes, that requires discipline. Like any other discipline, it requires monitoring and training to make sure that you are on the cutting edge of your capabilities. But what skills you should focus on building, and how can you track the progress of that. The skills to be nurtured are listed here. We will take one by one and detail them. So culture is, when we are talking about culture, this is how are you working to encourage collaboration, and you must be capable to celebrate the failure. That is also a culture that will remove the fear among the participant. It is the one thing to say you care about innovation as a basic value, as a core value of your organization, or a core value of your leadership, and something else to find ways to encourage this thing in the culture of the organization, in the culture of your team. Then second is the skill of leadership. How it can be addressed? We all know the leadership. Everyone wants to be leader, and we are working towards in that direction only. And of course, we have achieved a leadership at different levels. And if I try to explain leadership at this stage to you, please do not laugh on that, right? Please try to understand how this leadership skill, that is an ideal leadership skill. Ideal leadership skill is not about the outcome. It is sometimes it is about the well-being of the team members also. It is about the input resources of the facility of the input resources of the team members also, right? Is there any buy-in, innovation and positive changes from your leaders who are senior to you? The rest of the company will take from that leadership. It comes from the top to the bottom basically, right? And we shall be very much aware about what are the values the team members see at the top. So you have to be very alert as a leader for developing this innovation. No act or no thinking of yourself shall be a discouragement for the member of your innovation group. Third is employee engagement. How are your employees sharing ideas? How those teams are interacting? You must take care of that, right? Are they sensitizing to participate in the innovation life? That is definitely going to be beneficial for the company. They may spare some 2-3 hours in their interaction, right? Those interactions may be fruitful, they may not be fruitful, but there is a chance of being them fruitful. Definitely that may bring something new, right? So innovation is now something that everyone shall be felt responsible, and in this way this employee engagement becomes very important. Then comes the skills and mindset. Training and communication with your team members. Team means entire team, all the members. That is very important. How are you empowering every member of your team to think like an innovator, right? And all the innovations, they shall be taken as an outcome of the complete team. Yes, individuals are important. They may have a capability of being the leaders, right? But credit shall be given to the complete team, because this team may bring something new in the coming future, right? And once this winning becomes a habit, then just imagine what wonder is going to happen for your team or for your organization, right? So just try to be a good leader and try to develop this a real skill and mindset of the winner in your team members. Then comes the collaboration. Sometimes what happens, the best ideas for mobile development, for example, they may come from the legal department of the organization, right? Or the best ideas for marketing can come from the account team, right? Professor Ram Kumar, who was having a lecture yesterday, he told us how this function of lighting was introduced in the mobile. That is a different story, right? So that was not the technical team who gave the idea to introduce this flashlight in the mobile, right? So that became the requirement of some other team. They expressed it, and that became essential feature of the Nokia mobile phone. So this collaboration of ideas, collaboration of different teams, that is very much important. And the best ideas, definitely they are the outcome when you are facilitating this cross departmental sharing, cross team sharing, cross area sharing. Then definitely this is collaboration is going to be a fruitful thing for you. Next point is emerging trends. The world is changing at a very rapid pace. So your organization doing what your organization is doing to capture new trends and how they are responding to them, right? Because you must be very much aware that Nokia or this what that company was, hmm, BlackBerry, right? They did not attempted to change, and they were the leaders of in their technology, but they lost with the time. And by the time when they attempted to change, that was too late, right? So you shall go with the emerging trends. You shall keep an eye on the emerging trends and try and communicate this thing with your company. Yes, the things are changing. Keep an eye on the changes and try to change yourself, your products, your company product line, business model. Try to change it accordingly with the emerging trends. Then comes the goals and tracking. It is all well and good to say that you are innovating, but how do you know that it is working? Is it working or not working? Right? So you must try to define some indicators for that. Just to examine if it is working, it will have some indicator values on some scale of 1 to 10 or 1 to 100, whatever value you prefer to select, right? But try to fix some indicators to quantify that change. Fix the accountability, right? So that accountability, how should you fix that? You will have to check, do team members report on their progress and share the result of their innovation experiments or not? Or they are trying to do it at your cost for someone else? So keep an eye on this trend also. Make them accountable for the success, for the innovation. But definitely the successes and failures, both, they shall be shared with your team. If it is success, we will enjoy. If it is failure, we will enjoy together and try to find out the new ways for the success together. They shall not be, yes, success is mine and failure is not mine. It is definitely, we shall try someone to find and fix this failure on his head. No, this is not going to work for this nurturing this innovation in your team. Then everyone will fear for doing something new. So this implementation is, next point is the implementation. That is always a tougher job than this inspiration, because inspiration is easy, but implementation is not that easy. So if everyone has great ideas, but those ideas, none of those ideas, they see the light of day, then how you are thinking of keeping your pace with the competitors? And definitely the rest of your organization will lose faith in the ability of the leader and his motivation to create positive changes. So this faith of your team members in you for a right direction of leadership, just to maintain that, the implementation of the ideas continuously, that is very important, right? And the last thing is open innovation, which shall be nurtured as a skill in your innovation group, that your network of ideas shall be larger than the boundaries of your organization. It shall not be limited up to your class. It shall not be limited up to your department. It shall not be limited to your institution. It may be cross institutions. It may be some platform like IEEE, where you have an opportunity to share your ideas or get the ideas from a global scenario. So you shall be open for innovation. You shall be open for getting fresh ideas or discussing your fresh ideas with your mental partners. Or if you believe, you can go to your end customers also, right? And this depends on you, how much trust you are doing on your team members, on your mental partners whom you want to share your ideas for moving further in that direction. So these are the skills, they are to be nurtured for this uh, among your this team members for nurturing the innovative culture. And definitely these benefits of nurturing an innovative culture, you will find that this positive external recognition by customers and competitors both, and this internal reinforcement of organizations, you will feel that reinforcement or change in values, behavior, and culture. And believe me, these upper 2 points, when they work in combination, they create values and they strengthen business sustainability. That is the most important thing for any organization or any team. So finally, where you will get all these things, the easiest way to get all these things, you can believe on IEEE, right? It always, you will find that you will find someone as a force behind your innovation. When an idea sparks, usually in global scenario, the technology professionals turn to IEEE. They write a paper, they present a presentation in conferences or workshops, right? And in IEEE, you will form a collaboration, as you will find it as a forum for collaboration, where you can treat it as a testing ground to prove new ideas. And you can find a research hub for turning good ideas into great technologies, right? You can find that IEEE members and partners are always creating technologies that will allow people to embrace a smarter future. IEEE does more than fulfill needs, it improves lives around the world, right? So how to discover IEEE? You can definitely find, because IEEE is a combination of some 39 societies. What are these societies? These societies are the different interest groups, where definitely you will find societies more than one where your interests are matching, right? So by this way, by exploring those societies or this website IEEE.org, you can discover what IEEE can do for you in case of innovation. This IEEE.org website that opens a world of knowledge for you, where you can establish your professional and network in the area of your specialization, and definitely that may lead to shaping the future of yourself or your team or your organization. So this is all about the innovation, because Einstein once said that we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. So definitely the innovation is the only alternative for tracking the change and making the things interesting for the newer user groups and for the sustainability of the organization or the company or the team. So this is all about for today's presentation about this how to nurture innovation. It was over all from my side. If you have any question, we can discuss it right now. If you feel that you want to interact more or in more detail, you can write to me on my email, that is ashish@mnnit.ac.in. I will be happy to receive your questions, and I will try to answer those questions within the time span of 24 hours. Okay. It may not be that instantaneous at a session we are doing here, but definitely you will get the answer, that I promise. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And we have few questions in question and answer tab below.
Mhm.
The first one is from Mr. Yusuf. He wants to ask how to manage team effectively, working on a project, some tips and advice.
I think I have sufficiently given them some basic things. What are the basic treatment we shall give to our team, right? The very basic thing is the trust in your team. Number two, credit to your team members. Number three, always have a hope in them. They shall be, they shall not forget this thing. You are always having a hope, and their dependence of your hope is on them, right? So these are the few things. Definitely, your team members are also the human being. This is the human psychology by which we have about all these things. What we are talking about, we are talking about winning the human behavior only, right? And I hope you will get results. And if you need some more details, we can discuss through emails. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is from Mr. Darba Sastri. He specifically wants to know that what will happen if the cause, which is the emerging trend, if we take up it as as an example, he has mentioned what is the fate of COVID innovations.
Sir, the COVID innovations are not going to die actually, right? They have changed our life that much, right? Definitely they are going to form a new trend. What we are talking right now, this is also a COVID change. Do you feel it or not? Right? Earlier, for this session in the physical world, I had to travel to Meerut. Then it is 24 hours we had to waste on travel. And right now, this is a total business of 90 minutes. Right? I can communicate whatever I wish to communicate, and whatever you can ask, we can do it on this online session. This how much these apps they have developed themselves. So definitely, this is one of the example of this pandemic scenario. One more thing is there: the innovations, they always form, they never go waste, right? They are basically the part of a chain reaction. Sometimes what happens in novel innovation, that becomes a basis for the next generation of innovations, right? So don't lose hope that if COVID will go, the COVID innovations will also go. No, this is not going to happen. Definitely they will remain useful in our future actions also.
So, sir, one more question is there. Mr. Shivans has mentioned that he has a group of friends with whom he generally create projects, but as of lately they haven't been upskilling and participating. How can he tell them that they he will start now project without them, preferably with some other team without hurting their feelings?
Uh, this is this is some sort of amalgamation of business and emotions both,
Yeah.
right? So I think Dr. Shashwat Pathak can help you in a better way. You join a conversation with him, and definitely if I will also be happy to join that. This is a different sort of
Yeah.
thing. I think that we have not covered in this lecture. So, but it is a very interesting point he has raised. This
It usually
usually,
happens, sir.
yeah, usually happens. It
Yeah.
usually happens, right? So I think the target shall not be compromised,
Yeah.
right? Targets, which whatever the achievables, they shall remain targets and at any cost. Okay.
Yes.
Karmanyo vadikaraste mam phaleshu kadachana. That may be the target for this, and that may be the reply. और इसके अलावा गीता में और भी कई चीजें हैं जो आपको इस तरह के सवालों के जवाब दे सकती हैं मेरे ख्याल से.
And best thing is to be fair and transparent. अगर आप someone is not contributing, everyone should know their role and they should know their responsibilities. Because even for the startups, when we gaze them, so we gaze them on the basis of what is their team structure and what are their capabilities, whether they will be able to complete it or not. So, sir, there is another question. Why it is relevant innovation named disruptive innovation? Disruptive sounds something like destructive. So, it is also something which is.
No, this is not destructive. There is a different meaning of disruptive and destructive. Both are different terms.
Yeah.
Please don't be confused with one another. Okay. That's why I prefer to use sometimes this Hindi terminology also with them.
Yeah.
And definitely try to understand in that way. You will definitely make it clear for yourself.
So, disruptive is something which is apart from the usual flow. Sir has mentioned that there are incremental innovations and other things. But if you go away from that usual flow, that is something which is coming abruptly, or that is the disruptive flow. Okay. So nothing negative about it, nothing destructive. It is something which is actually touching your life, and that is all of a sudden. So any other questions? Sir, I think we are done for today. And
Oh,
if
that's great.
participants are there to post some questions, I will collect them and I will post it to you.
Oh, great. Definitely. That will be a new experience for me because
Thank
I'm
you.
not an expert in that area. But definitely, I'm thankful to Dr. Sashwat Pathak that he forced me to learn something in that direction. And I was forced to make this presentation for you and just learn all these things. And definitely, these are the things we usually do in our daily life, right? And sometimes what happens, we do not summarize them in practice, right?
Yes,
And we do not summarize them for promoting it in our peer group. But
yes.
this is really a very interesting thing. Thank you, Dr. Pathak, for giving me this opportunity. I'm really obliged.
Thank you so much, sir. And it was really a very, very beautiful session. And I wanted to have this session because I have seen you working in a capacity as a registrar of the institution. And you have contributed very, very fairly to the innovations, to the research and developments. And it is something like you may not be directly involved with innovations and these developments, but you have been actively creating, you have been actively implementing the things, the basic framework which is needed. That's why I asked you that you are the expert in this matter, and you will
Oh,
be person you will be the apt person to speak on this, because the higher education institutions, they are now, again I'm using that word, disruptive. So this disruptive trend they are adopting, and IITs and ITs, they are adopting it, and we are creating a culture of innovation together.
thank you, Dr. Sashwat. We
Thank
shall
you.
be ready to perform any duty which is being assigned to us by our leaders.
Yes,
And
sir.
definitely that is the privilege we have sometimes, and these trainings make us ready for future assignments whatever required,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So this versatility of working environment is very important in every leader. So please try to develop this versatility in your working culture. That is definitely going to be useful for all.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
So can we end this session now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, thank
Thank you
you.
so much,
Thank
sir.
you to all for attending this session. There is one hand raise, I think.
I
Okay.
will allow, and that is from.
Okay, you can take it and you can send it through email.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Okay.
I think no hand is raised, sir.
Okay. Okay.
So participants, thank you so much for joining us on this weekend. And sir, we were around 60 people listening to us, and thank you so much, participants, for showing your enthusiasm. And please fill this feedback and attendance link. I
Okay.
have shared in chat box, and I will share in WhatsApp group as well. Thank you so much, sir.
थैंक यू आप सभी को नमस्कार कि आपने समय निकाला इसको सुनने के लिए सेशन को और डॉक्टर शाश्वत जी आपका भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद
धन्यवाद सर, धन्यवाद सर।
नमस्कार
थैंक यू सर।